Before we get started with the details of the blockchain, it's helpful to understand why it even exists. The blockchain was originally made to try and solve problems that we're seeing with the way we make financial transactions. In this video, we'll talk about some of the core ideas behind how financial transactions work without the blockchain. This will help us better understand the solution that the blockchain tries to provide. Later, we can abstract these ideas beyond finance to understand how it can provide these same types of solutions across other industries. So to start, here are some of the questions the blockchain tries to answer. What makes money valuable? Why do people use it? Is there a way we can improve the current system? To answer this, let's break down how the current system works. Pretend we don't have a way to make transactions at all. Our goal is to help set up a system to help people make transactions. To start, we know that everyone has some type of product or service. There are people who need these products and services, and there are other people who are willing to give something in return for them. The problem is, there's no way for anyone to make transactions with each other. So how can we solve this? The first thing you can do is start trading. You'll have to decide how much value you place in something and what you're willing to get in return for it. Once you do that, you're able to start trading your product with others. This is a great start, but it gets tough because no one really agrees on the exact value for anything. Every trade needs to be negotiated. What we could really use is something that we all agree has a certain intrinsic value. Something like gold becomes useful there. If we can agree on how much a certain amount of gold is worth, we can assign each of our products a value based on that. And to take it one step further, we can make a currency to trade in place of that gold. So now we have money. If I want a new game to play, I don't need to go to the store with things to trade them. I just give them the money it's worth. Now that we have money, we'll need someone to track and manage the transactions we're making. That's where banks come in. The solutions they provide are exactly what the blockchain is trying to improve. Keep that in mind as we go through this next section. Banks keep track of our transactions to keep our money safe and secure. They're what's known as a trusted third party. That term comes up a lot in blockchain. A trusted third party is an entity that facilitates interactions between two parties. They help establish the security we need to store our money and trust our transactions. This is extremely valuable, and what's really interesting is how they can do it. There are a ton of systems in place that make this happen, but one important tool they use is what's known as a ledger. A ledger is a record of transaction information. It includes information about who sent money, who received it, when it happened, and how much was sent. Having a record of all these transactions helps the bank do some pretty cool stuff. For one, they always know who has money, who owes money, and how much money exists. They can use this information to ensure trust between people who are making transactions that might not even know each other. This helps them solve what's known as the double spending problem. Double spending is the term for when someone spends the same money more than once. For a financial system to work, this can't be possible because that person would basically be duplicating money. Banks can prevent double spending because of the records they keep on their ledger. They know what was sent and when it happened. If someone tries to spend money twice, the transaction that happened first will go through, and by the time the second one happens, the money will be gone already. The bank knows what time the first transaction happened, so they can invalidate later ones. This helps them settle any disputes, confusion, or theft that might happen. Since they have all the information, they can decide who has what. So that's one way to go about solving this problem, and it's what we've done for a very long time. But the blockchain thinks there could be a different, better way to do this. Before we jump into how they do it, try to think about it for yourself. Is there anything you think could be improved if the system were different? What would that system look like? As a start, focus on how banks use a ledger to help solve the double spending problem. Is there a way we might not need banks to do this for us? If you're not sure, don't worry about it. This is a tough problem. We're just hoping you get a chance to think a little differently about all this. We'll spend the rest of this program talking about the answers the blockchain has to these types of questions. See what you come up with, and when you're ready, we'll see you in the next video.